Welcome back to part 2 of the Hemi head swap. So I'm trying something a little different. I'm going to do a voiceover for this video. So here I am installing the head gasket. And now I'm putting the new cylinder head on. It actually fell right into place pretty easily. I didn't have to fight it at all, which was a little surprising. Now I'm putting the cylinder head bolts back in. The Haynes manual said to squirt some oil on the threads. So that's what I did here. Put some oil on the threads and then dropped them into the holes that they came out of. Try to make sure everything went back where it came from, just to minimize any issues. And another thing about these head bolts is they are torque to angle, not torque to yield. So Chrysler says after you inspect the bolts, if they aren't stretched and the threads look good, you can reuse them. If they are not, if they're stretched or the threads are messed up, then they do recommend replacing them. And a replacement set isn't actually that expensive. They're like $18, I believe, for a Dorman set. So now I'm installing the top bolts, the smaller M8 bolts, and there's I believe 5 or 6 of those, and now everything will get hand tightened down snug. And once I get everything hand tightened down, I'll come back and torque it with the torque wrench. And this is the Quinn 3/8 digital torque wrench. It's my first time using it, but it is actually a very nice torque wrench. Very easy to use. So the first torque for the larger bolts is 25 foot-pounds in the sequence that's listed in the manual. You can always find it online too. And then you'll do a 40 foot-pound pass. And then the last one is your degree. So the last pass is 90 degree for all of the bolts. And then your smaller bolts up top will be 15 for the first pass and then 25 for the second pass. And then that'll be it. Now I'm installing all of the push rods. This is assembly lube. I had to switch to it, ran out of oil. So I just put a dab on each end of the push rod just so it has some kind of lubrication on the first fire up. When putting these in, it is very crucial to make sure they sit into the lifter and the rocker arm. I did have one you'll see later in the video that I did put in the wrong hole, and it definitely caused the car to run not as intended. So yeah, make sure you're double checking and making sure they're seated properly. So now I'll put the rocker arms assemblies back in. This wasn't too bad. The intake one, you can kind of see all of the uh, rocker arm or all the push rods. So it kind of went in fairly easy. Just got to remember to tighten as you go and make sure everything's getting snugged down evenly so nothing pops out on you. But once everything's snugged down, you can go ahead and tighten everything hand tight down evenly. And then once you're done doing that, you can torque those bolts down to 195 inch-pounds. And it'll be the same thing for the exhaust rocker arm assembly. Throw in all the push rods and then throw your rocker arm assembly on and tighten it down evenly and then torque them. And then you'll see later in the video what you should do at this step, but I was in a rush because it was dark, so I decided to just throw the valve cover on and start back in the morning. So that was where I messed up. And here I am with the Icon torque wrench this time. It's a very nice torque wrench. It's the inch-pound torque wrench with a 3/8 drive. I thought it was a quarter-inch drive when I bought it, but it ended up being a 3/8 drive, which is pretty nice. I wasn't expecting something so small to be 3/8 drive. Just torquing down all the rocker arm assemblies. I did do this a few times. When one side's torqued, the other side might loosen up a little bit. So I went over it until everything uh, torqued out to 195 inch-pounds. And now I'll throw the valve cover back on. This was actually a lot harder than it looked in the video. the back of the valve cover. You have to get it over those spark plug holes. So I kept rolling the back gasket, but checked it with the endoscope the next day, and everything looked good and no oil leaking. So yeah, just take your time and make sure you get it in there and seat it down, and you don't roll that gasket. And then we'll torque this down. This got torqued to 70 inch-pounds. I found varying results for the torque spec, but a lot of people seem to agree that 70 was the right number, so that's what I went with. It's back together. It's a little dark out. Lost the sun, but I wanted to get it done tonight. So I'll button it up tomorrow. All the easy stuff should be pretty quick. So yeah, I'm glad I got it done. Glad I didn't snap anything. That's the best part. So yeah, it's not bad. The only issue I had was torquing the rocker arms. There was two different torque values. One 106 inch-pounds and 16 foot-pounds, and the 16 foot-pounds or 195 inch-pounds is actually the correct one from the Chrysler manual. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I'm going to do tonight, and I will wrap it up in the morning. Day 3 of the cylinder head swap of my 5.7 Hemi in my 2010 Dodge Ram. So I got pretty much everything back together last night. Cylinder head back on, the intake and exhaust rockers back in, and the valve cover back on. So now it's just all the small stuff I got to button up. So I'm gonna get back to work. Hopefully, should be back on the road today. So I'm getting the harness back on now. Moved it out of the way. It actually gave me a lot more room to slide the new cylinder head in instead of fighting around the harness. It did take a little extra time, but it was totally worth it if you ask me. So yeah, now I'm just putting everything back together and making sure everything that I did take off goes back to where it goes, so I don't have any issues when I fire it up. And now I'm doing the spark plugs. So these are the fake spark plugs. I had no idea, and you'll see why I say that later in the video. But yeah, I put all these plugs in. I probably did plugs on this thing while doing the cylinder head like 5 or 6 times. Yeah, there are counterfeit NGK spark plugs. Who would have thought? Watch out and buy from a reputable dealer. I do have a video on those if you didn't check it out already. It is up on my YouTube. I believe I did a short on it. And now I'm throwing the coil packs back on. These, I did number them 2, 4, 6, and 8 to make sure they went back where they came out of. Probably not necessary, but I like to take the extra step just to mitigate any issues that could arise. So, yep, tightening those down now. Be careful tightening these down. It's just a brass rib nut in there. You don't want to strip them out or anything like I did. Luckily, I was able to fix it. And now I'm putting the connectors, harness back on the driver's side, plugging in all the coil packs, and putting the alternator back on, the alternator wire. Now it's time for the intake to go back on. It wasn't that bad. It slid right in there. Don't forget to put your 3 connectors in the back. Don't forget to plug those in, or you're going to have a bad time. And also don't forget the ground on the head. I should have said that earlier, but that is a very bad thing to forget this far along. You're going to have to take everything back apart. But yeah, I'm zipping everything down on the intake. I don't know if I torqued this. I think I did. I think I was pretty adamant on torquing everything. So you probably don't have to torque these. I don't think I've ever torqued them. Maybe once or twice in my time of turning wrenches, but Yep, this time I did opt to torque them. Maybe it was just to keep using this Quinn digital torque wrench. Now the fuel line goes back on, and the little retainer clip that I popped off and broke off the zip tie that was there. Now reroute all the hoses, get those all plugged back up to the intake. And I'm putting the UPR catch can back on. This thing, I had one on my Mustang. So when I saw that they sold one for the Rams, I picked it up right away, and I like it. It does catch a lot of the blow by that gets circulated back into the intake manifold. I did have to run a thread chaser through the bolt hole. It looks like they painted over it. Now it's time for the exhaust gasket. Don't forget this. I initially forgot it and had this thing back in and realized it after I saw it still sitting on the table. So I had to take it apart and do it again. But these are Mopar gaskets. Um, Bought everything off of Rock Auto. They always come in clutch. I've never had an issue with them. So these are the BD diesel or BD performance manifolds. They are like a ductile iron. They are way beefier than the OEM ones, and they do come with upgraded hardware and those little spacers you can see, which is supposed to help prevent any warping or anything like that. And these all get torqued down to 18 foot-pounds when I'm done. And I am putting the heat shields back on. I did have to make a little bit of modifications for them. So everything's back together. I didn't put the engine cover back on yet. I want to check for leaks. So I did the spark plugs and I did the valve cover gasket on the driver's side too. The only bolt that's a pain to get to is the one all the way in the back on the bottom. Alright, the BD diesel manifolds back in. I got everything torqued down. I even put the heat shield back in. I did have to modify it a little bit to fit over that BD diesel manifold. I think it's beefy. But I got everything else situated, back together. So I think the only thing left to do is fire it up. Yeah, I'm gonna set this up and I'll fire it up and we'll check for leaks and pray that there ain't one. So sit tight. So now that you heard it run and fail miserably and sound very, very bad, it was misfiring pretty bad, so I knew something was up. So I ended up taking everything apart, and this is me just putting it back together. I ended up having an issue with one of the push rods. I put it into one of the oil galley holes instead of the lifter hole. So yeah, luckily I didn't have any bent push rods or any issues with the rocker arms or springs or anything. So always check and make sure everything's running right before you put things back together so you don't have to take it back apart. So now I'm just retorquing all of the rocker arms. I got a little better angle and now it's actually during the day so you can see it. But it was pretty gut-wrenching when the truck kept misfiring and dying. It wouldn't run. But I'm glad it was something easy fix and didn't cost astronomical amounts of money to fix it. Because that wouldn't have been good. So, yeah. Man, this is what I meant by just going over and torquing them and making sure everything hits torque spec. That cylinder 8 rocker kept loosening up every time I would move out towards the front of the engine. And this is what I was referring to earlier by checking everything and making sure all your rockers and push rods and lifters are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So I do have all the spark plugs out and 24 millimeter on the crank bolt, and I'm just spinning it by hand and making sure all of the rockers are going up and down. like they're supposed to. If I would have done that before, I would have noticed that the cylinder 8 rocker wasn't moving at all. But I didn't do this, and I paid the price. So if you're going to do this, make sure you check, spin the engine over by hand, and make sure your rockers are going up and down, and that none of them are doing anything weird, and they're all seated correctly. It'll save you a big headache from having to tear it back down and redo it. And now the air intake is going back on. Just buttoning everything up and getting ready to fire it up for what hopefully would be the last time that I would have to do this. Everything went back together. I did have to take it apart to put the engine cover back on, but there were no leaks. Everything fired up beautifully and it ran. Everything's back together. Truck runs amazing. I found the problem. Definitely install error. I put the push rod for cylinder 8 exhaust in the hole next to the lifter bore. So it wasn't in the bore, so luckily it didn't bend anything. It wasn't misaligned, it was just in the wrong hole. There's two holes right next to each other, and of course you can't see it. So I screwed that up, but I fixed that. Then I tested by hand to make sure all the rockers were doing what they were supposed to and everything was seated good. And then I changed out all the spark plugs. So 12 out of the 16 spark plugs that I bought were knockoffs. So who would have thought? Yeah, I completely forgot there were knockoff NGKs, and I bought 12 off an auction site that I regularly use, not thinking anything of it, but I definitely learned my lesson to just buy from a reputable dealer now. And the other 4 were from Rock Auto, and those 4 were legit. I tested them all out, and they ohmed out correct versus the knockoffs. Everything's back together. I even got the heat shield back on. I had to modify it a little bit. You can see where I had to notch it in that corner, and then I had to notch it down there. Can't really see, it's a little dark, but it fits really good over the manifold. And I ran them without it for about a year, but with these coolant lines right here, or the heater core lines, whatever you want to call them, I'm just gonna run it just to be safe. So yeah, the BD diesel manifolds are awesome. Hardware is awesome. I gotta retorque the other side. I was supposed to do it after a couple 100 miles, but I've been lazy. I did the spark plugs on this thing about 5 or 6 times before I realized that they might be the problem. So, but I'll start it up and you can hear it. That's gonna be a wrap. First cylinder head job on any motor, period. And I think I didn't do too bad. I definitely learned to check everything before buttoning it up. Lesson learned, and thank God I avoided any kind of expensive repairs with bent push rods or drop valves or something. You know, who knows what could have happened. But thankfully, that's all that it was. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm gonna make more stuff like this hopefully. I did do this over a period of 4 days. It took a while, so it's probably gonna take a while to edit it. But I'm trying to step up my game in the editing world. So thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.